This is Colin Cowherd responding to Isiah Thomas, who ranked MJ as the 5th best player he ever faced.
There's two facts about Michael. It's almost sacrilegious to bring these up, but they're both facts. When James Worthy and Michael were teammates at North Carolina, they won a championship. When James Worthy left for the pros, Michael stuck around. The following year, Michael's college basketball team with Dean Smith, it wasn't the best in state. North Carolina State won the title. He didn't even have the best college basketball team in state, Michael. And then he went to the NBA, and do you know how many playoff series he won without Pippen? For our radio audience, the answer is a bagel. Those are facts. Michael won a title when he had Dean Smith and Phil. He didn't win with a lot of coaches. He didn't win with a lot of players. When he had a Hall of Fame number 2 and a Hall of Fame coach, he won. The following year, he went 8 years without winning. Had a bunch of good players. Had a bunch of quality coaches who won games. These are facts. And the fact is, Michael's not the greatest scorer ever. He didn't have the best shot ever. When he left, the Bulls were still very good. 57 wins to 55. When LeBron leaves teams, they disintegrate. I think Michael and LeBron are the 2 best basketball players ever. Argue what you want. But I can go 5 and 6 and 7 categories. He's not the greatest scorer. He's not the greatest winner. He didn't elevate teammates like Magic. He's not an Iron Man like LeBron. He didn't do more things well than everybody. He's just a great basketball player that when he got a Robin and when he got Phil Jackson, he was hard to beat.
I'd like to spend one moment apologizing for Colin Cowherd. I did not approve of that message. And for a guy who is as talented as Colin Cowherd and who backs up most of his statements with facts, he missed on a bunch of them. A bunch of them. Now, he might not be the best scorer ever in comparison to Wilt Chamberlain or to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of his last 11 seasons in the NBA, he led the league in scoring 10 of them. So in the context of his generation, he was the best scorer in basketball. In the context of his generation, he was the best winner in basketball. He went to 6 NBA finals and won all 6. And to say he didn't elevate his teammates is wrong. Okay? We make it out like Scottie Pippen showed up and they were great. Scottie Pippen was seen as soft. Scottie Pippen couldn't shoot. Scottie Pippen became, as Michael Jordan pointed out, his greatest teammate ever, but became it. And by the way, Scottie Pippen's career was never the same once he left the Bulls. Some of it was because of back injury, some because of his age, but a lot of it was because he wasn't playing with Michael Jordan. Isiah Thomas doesn't like Michael Jordan, okay? Because Michael Jordan stole his city. We have to have Isiah Thomas recuse himself from any conversation revolving around Michael Jordan. He got jealous because Isiah's from Chicago. Jordan shows up from Chicago, saves the Bulls, becomes the most popular player in the NBA. So Isiah Thomas freezes him out in his first All-Star game. That happened. Documented. Everybody knows it. Then Michael Jordan keeps him off the Dream Team. Right? Which was preceded by the fact that Isiah Thomas blew off the Bulls, wouldn't shake their hands when they beat them. Even though Jordan stayed on the court and shook their hands the 2 previous years when the Pistons beat the Bulls. Look, you can defame Michael Jordan all you want, but it lacks any... You lose every basketball person when you say so. You're not the greatest scorer ever. Like, dude, who is? You can't get any better than leading the league in scoring 10 out of 11 years. And the only year he didn't was the year that he came back from baseball. And he wasn't sharp because he was playing professional baseball. It's you cannot ask Isiah Thomas about Michael Jordan. He hated Jordan. He was jealous of Jordan. Jordan overtook the league. Jordan took away Chicago. Jordan, because of all the crap Isiah did, because Isiah talked crap about Magic Johnson, his best friend, and Larry Bird, and said he would only regarded well because he was white. And he said it about Jordan, and Jordan said, keep him off the Dream Team. And Isiah can't let it go, nor should he. But he should recuse himself. And Colin, come on, dude. There's more cancellations in college football. This was Joel Klatt yesterday on the Doug Gottlieb Show. It's me Monday on the Doug Gottlieb Show.
For your college football fans out there, you're going to see a lot of postponements and cancellations this week. I would encourage the college football playoff to look at these hard dates of December 19th and those rankings and when are we going to play those games. Every single sport in America, even the NFL, has talked about soft dates and the ability to move and be flexible, and I think college football should join them. I think if the college football playoff were to be flexible with their dates, it would give a lot of these programs and these teams a lot more wiggle room and these leagues a lot more wiggle room in the next couple of weeks as we've seen viruses spike across the country.
Doug Gottlieb Show here on Fox Sports Radio. If you don't believe that the virus is real, problematic, not controlled by who's running the country, I give you LSU and Alabama was canceled. Look, Maryland and Ohio State was just canceled because Maryland's got 8 kids testing positive. And Cal's game was canceled last week because they had 1 kid, but there's special rules because of Berkeley being Berkeley. But they ain't canceling LSU, Alabama unless it's bad, unless they absolutely, positively have to. You can probably throw Ohio State in there against Maryland as well because of the truth is that while college football struggles at times with the ratings for the college football playoff because it's become kind of a regional sport, the teams that do rate are Alabama first, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Clemson, Texas, the rest of the SEC like an LSU, USC. Right? These are the names of programs that Oklahoma, that when you put them on TV in that order, they rate. LSU and Alabama, the defending national champions against the team that's dominated the league, Saban against Ed Orgeron. That sucker ain't go. I can't help if you don't think this is bad. I can't help you. Can't help you. It's a lot like what the president is doing. You can support you don't like taxation policies or immigration or centralized health care, all these actual political arguments. You want to take a side of the aisle? Go for it. Okay? But the number one thing which makes us a democracy is our ability to conduct free and fair elections. And when you have people who condemn them as being corrupt without a shred of evidence, I am done with you. I cannot have a discussion with you. It's not worth it because you're talking about things that lack any sort of factual basis. The same can go for the deniers, and this includes my boy Clay Travis. I like him. I really do. I like people that push the envelope. I like people that question things. I like people that don't just accept that everything is bad or everything is good. That's how I've made it in this world. That's how I see the world. I think of myself as a thoughtful person. It's one of the things that I like about my faith as opposed to some people's faith. I'm not going to go my faith is better than your faith. But part of what makes faith is you got to believe, okay? But you has to be willing to question it. Man, that kind of makes... Jonah was in the mouth of a whale? Really? Come on. He saw a whale and the whale opened his mouth? But I believe because of faith. Right? But you got to question things. I get it. You don't cancel Alabama and LSU unless it's bad. Okay? It's do you think they would have canceled the NCAA tournament unless it was bad? Do you think the Masters would be played with no patrons in the fall unless it was bad? And if you thought we were out of the woods and rounding the corner, like, dude, they just canceled LSU and Alabama. That's like telling a kid there will be no Christmas this year. Okay? I can't explain it any other way. If you don't think that this second wave has people not only very much nervous, but it continues to spread, and it's become maybe even a bigger problem than people warned us it could be, I give you LSU and Alabama being canceled.